we unfortunately had to take Piglet to the emergency room.
Good afternoon, guys, and welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the family channel. I hope you all are having a fantastic day. I had to do some stuff earlier this morning, so I was gone. I was doing some stuff for Street Speed 717. I think you guys are going to like it if you are subscribed to that channel. But Gina has some interesting news regarding Piglet. She had to take her to the vet, and I'll let her tell the story.
Hi, you guys. So Piglet just went into the vet. They just took her. It's so sad watching this with this whole like COVID-19 thing going on. There's a lot of extra steps and I have to stay out in my car, and it's just horrible seeing her like struggle to stay with me and be dragged into a place that she absolutely hates. It's like really, really sad. You guys can see Savannah back there. You good girl, see me? She comes with us to like any vet appointment that Piglet has. She's definitely an emotional support dog for Piglet. She really helps with the anxiety and everything. So I'm going to explain everything that's been going on to catch you guys up. Last week, we unfortunately had to take Piglet to the emergency room. Let me make sure, because I think it was on Friday night. For 2 days, Piglet had really bad diarrhea and she was throwing up a bunch. It was bile. That's a bunch of yellow acid coming out of the stomach rather than like food and stuff. So it was bright yellow. And she was, you know, throwing up quite a bit. And Friday morning we were saying, okay, we'll probably take her to the vet tomorrow. We don't want to rush everything and like be like, oh my god, we have to take her right now, because it was just throwing up and diarrhea, and we just put her on a new food, so we figured that's what it was. So we did not want to rush the process. So now it's Friday night, and she was just very not acting like herself at all. Mike came home from filming and she did not greet him at all, which she always does. So she just was not acting like herself. Even if she doesn't feel good, she'll act like herself. She's just, that's what Piglet does. So Friday night, I started to get much more worried. She wasn't acting like herself at all, not eating at all, not drinking at all, which is incredibly serious. I definitely was like, okay, we're gonna for sure take her to her family vet tomorrow to figure out what's going on, because this is getting bad. She's gonna start getting dehydrated. She hasn't eaten for over 24 hours. That's not good at all. She was refusing human food. Like, she's obsessed with meatballs and stuff, and I just made some meatballs and she had wanted nothing to do with them. Right whenever I was talking to Mike about this, and you know, we were like, okay, we're gonna take her tomorrow, she just threw up everywhere, like the biggest amount of bile. It was horrible, and I was like, what is the point in waiting until tomorrow if we're gonna take her anyways? Let's go tonight. We gotta go. So a normal vet is not open at nighttime, so we had to take her to the emergency room. So we rushed her to the nearest emergency room. Been there 3 times for 3 different emergencies. They saved Yellow's life. They got him in an oxygen box whenever he needed that. And we're also going to tell you guys Yellow's story, so keep on lookout for that, because it's going to be a very intense, crazy story explaining everything about him. Very intense, very crazy. Having children is very intense. So the crazy thing is, when we got there, we obviously went to the door, rang the doorbell, and it was just very different because we weren't even thinking about COVID-19, and there's no footage. I didn't film anything. That's the last thing on my mind whenever an emergency is happening. So that's why I'm like, have to explain everything. I never filmed anything. I'm filming today because today's a very chillax appointment, and I brought the camera along, figuring that I could tell the story to you guys while I wait for them to test her urine and everything inside. But anyways, the lady came around the corner and she's like, can I help you? And we were like, well, we have an emergency with our dog and blah, blah, blah. And she was like, okay, you need to go back to your car, call us, make an appointment, and we will come out and get her, and you have to stay in your car the whole entire time during the appointment. And I just was like, holy crap, I forgot that like everything is going on with COVID-19 right now. So it was a totally different experience. So I was like really freaking out, trying to stay super calm. I did very good that night, by the way. Like when we were rushing her to the emergency room, didn't cry one bit. And I didn't cry the whole night. There were a few times where I almost did because there was like some bad news throughout the night, but I think I did really good. I tried to stay as calm as possible to keep her calm and comfortable. So I'm super proud of myself because I'm really dramatic when it comes to my furry children. We called, we made the appointment, they came out and they got her. I'm sorry if there's a bunch of noise. I have the windows down in the back for Savannah to keep her cool, and there's a road right in front of us and people keep driving by. But anyways, they came out and they got her, and it was absolutely horrible. She was pulling and tugging and doing everything she could not to leave us, and it was just awful because, like, what do you think was going through her mind? She has no idea. We're staying in the vehicle and we're giving her to a stranger and they're taking her. Like, for all she knows, she's going forever, and we're just letting it. Like, she must have been absolutely horrified. Like, why are my parents doing this to me? And that made me cry. I did cry on Friday night. I did cry because once they got her in the door, she ran back and got out the door and tried to come back to, it was just so awful seeing that. So Mike looked at me and he's like, I'm about to cry. That was awful. And I just started crying. It was horrible, 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 because, you know, she trusts us and we go and do that to her. And we were doing it for a good reason. She just didn't understand. So we're waiting and waiting and waiting. We got there at 9 and we were there until like midnight. It was just a crazy long experience. And it's horrible because you're sitting in the car and you're like, why is it taking so long? I'm super dramatic. I always go to worst case scenario. I try not to, and I really tried not to that night. But whenever it was taking so long, I was like, what if something like horrible's happening? What if she had kidney failure? Because that's what I was really freaking out about, because a YouTuber that I know, her dog is 5 years old. Her name is Cookie. She just passed last month from kidney failure, only at 5 years old. And I just was freaking out. I was really not trying to. I really was trying not to show it, but all these things are going through my mind. You know, like, I'm just freaking out, you know, dramatic. So finally they called and they were like, Piglet is doing amazing. She's an incredible patient, which I could not believe that, because really she's like very freaked out and skittish at the vet. So I was shocked that they said that she was like super calm, which means she really wasn't feeling well, because they said she was just laying there like an angel, totally fine, which is not how Piglet acts at the vet. So I knew she wasn't feeling good, which is so sad. And they said that all of the blood work came back good. Her levels are fine. Her kidneys are fine. Her liver is fine, blah, 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 which was just incredible to hear. But she has crystals in her urine, and Mike and I had absolutely no idea what she was talking about. We've never heard of that before, and she explained it a little bit more, and she said it's called crystallization. And due to the new food that we put her on, there was a lot of protein in it, and that's what they were saying caused this. And she was super, super dehydrated, which we knew was going to be the case. They had her on fluids, on an IV and everything. And it was just different to hear about this crystallization. Nothing that we expected to hear. It was just totally bizarre. And when they brought Piglet out, they explained a little bit more that she is going to need to be on a prescribed diet for life, which really, really freaked me out. I was like, excuse me, like, what? For life? That's a big, big term there. She's only 2 years old. That's a huge commitment, a huge, like, whoa, that's crazy. And this is going to be a problem forever. It most likely will cause bladder stones in the future, and if we have her on this diet, it will stop the bladder stones from going up to the kidney and causing kidney stones. It's just so much to deal with, and I was really upset to hear this. I was expecting them to be like, she's sick from going on a new food. I was not expecting to hear that she had a real problem inside of her, so that really upset me. And Mike was like, don't jump to conclusion, it's okay. We're gonna go to her vet this week after the weekend and everything's gonna be fine. And I was like, I don't know, like, they made it sound really horrible. So I called her vet and she calmed me down. She was like, do not jump to conclusion, just like Mike said. They kind of jumped to conclusion saying that it's with the food. She thinks it's just because of dehydration. And I was like, oh my god, this is amazing. So she's probably not going to have to go on a prescribed diet. She's probably not going to have bladder stones in the future, and everything's going to be okay. And I was super calmed down. So here I am today at her appointment. I had to collect a urine sample for them to check everything out, you know, figure out a plan for us. And there was like, sorry, this is like TMI, if you get grossed out, maybe fast forward a little bit. There was like flakes in her pee, really gross looking. So I'm figuring like, holy crap, this problem has not been resolved. Like, I figured that it would be done and all the medication that the emergency room gave her would like stop the pain and everything. But here there's this stuff in her pee, and it's probably really still hurting her to pee, which is really horrible because hurting to pee is awful. So that just made me freak out, and now I'm sitting here playing the guessing game of, is this gonna be permanent? So I have no idea yet, but you know, we'll see. It really sucks. I'm really hopeful that it's not going to be permanent, and I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I thought at the emergency room, I was like, okay, we're gonna have to figure things out. We're just gonna have to go with the flow. This is gonna be life from now on. And then it turned into, there's hope. Everything's gonna be okay. There's no need to freak out. And now today, seeing the flakes in her pee makes me think, you know, there's a bit of an issue going on. But I don't want to jump to that conclusion. I'm just really hoping that, oh my god, I hope she doesn't have to be on a prescribed diet. It would just really suck. It would really suck. And if she got bladder stones in the future, oh my god, I would just lose it. That would be too much for me, because I saw a family member go through kidney stones, and it was absolutely horrible watching them go through it. It was absolutely horrible. So if I had to watch my little daughter go through it, I don't know what I would do. So I'm sitting here waiting with Savannah for our little piggy to come back out. They're gonna call us, and the doctor's gonna talk to me and let me know everything that's going on. So I guess we shall wait and see, and I guess I can update you guys with what's going on and what they have to say, and if it's gonna be permanent or not. So let's cross our fingers and hope. I'll talk to you guys in a second with the update. He's so happy to be out. Hi! Hello! Oh my god, my baby is so happy. Why are you panting? Because you were stressed? She like rarely pants. Hi, were you in there playing? Did you have a fun time? Was it fun? I have really good news. Really good news. The vet here was right whenever she told me to calm down and everything was gonna be okay and not to jump to conclusion. She no longer has crystals in her urine. Everything is good to go, and she can go back on her normal diet, and I'm just so ecstatic, you guys. I'm so stinking happy. That is the best news I could have ever heard. My baby is healthy and everything is fine, and I'm just so happy. So this story ended on great news, and I am so freaking happy because the story didn't start with great news. So I am really happy. Thank you guys for watching and for supporting us, and I will see you guys in the next vlog. Bye guys.